League season on CBS, and a rare regular season get-together between the Oakland Raiders out of the AFC West and the Arizona Cardinals of the NFC East. Hi once again, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Randy Cross. First time the Raiders have ever come and played in this stadium in the regular season. Both the teams come in with 2-2 records. And Randy, Oakland with a new head coach, John Gruden. Have there been changes that you can see yet?
Well, yes and no. Last week you saw the Raiders offense that John Gruden wants. A lot of Napoleon Kaufman. And Napoleon is one of the strongest guys in the league at the running back position, being one of the smallest. Don't be surprised, though, that they haven't completely lost the long vertical ball. They'll do it early today. On the defensive side, Darrell Russell has brought an enthusiasm and real love to just play the game I haven't seen on a Raiders defense in a while.
Well, both these clubs won significant games on the road last week. Oakland at Dallas and Arizona at St. Louis. They seem to have been revived, the Cardinals that is, by that victory.
And revive is Jake the Snake Plummer. It's what this Arizona team is all about. This young quarterback can ad-lib as good as any of them right now in the league. And on the defensive side, and a real key to this game, Eric Swan, the defensive tackle. He's surrounded by youth, but he has to pound it out in the middle of that defensive line for the Arizona Cardinals to win this ball game.
Arizona has won the toss, and that means Greg Davis will be kicking off, a former Cardinal. He spent 6 years here with the Cardinal franchise, and kickoffs have been a problem for Davis in the first 4 games this season. Mike Pittman and Eric Metcalf for the deep. Kickoff returns have been a problem, ironically, for the Arizona Cardinals. Metcalf, rather modest figures, just under 17 yards per kick return. Both teams 2-2, only the 4th time they have ever met in regular season. They have played in preseason each of the last 3 years. And another very short kick by Davis, taken at the 15 by Metcalf. Dances through bodies at the 25 out to the 33-yard line. And the Cardinals will put it in play, first down and 10 from that spot. Jake Plummer took over midway through last season. He has rookie year, of course, 40 games as a starter at Arizona State. And the rest of the starting offensive line for the Cardinals, Lomas Brown, Jerome Daniels, 350, moves into left guard. Backs and receivers headed by Adrian Burrell. Larry Centers in the fullback, and the wide receivers Sanders and Rob Moore, both of whom are to the left. Plummer dances right, hit from behind and dragged down, sacked at the 29. James Folston gets his first sack of the season. And defensively, the Oakland Raiders a 4-3. Russell, Maryland. Darrell Russell had a terrific game last week in the win at Dallas. Greg Biekert returns in the middles. That's a remodeled linebacking core. And in the secondary, 2 new corners, Charles Woodson, the rookie, the Heisman winner, and Eric Allen. 2nd and 14. Sanders in motion. They hand it off up the middle to Adrian Burrell. He gets about 3. That brings up a 3rd and 11. Tackle is made by Russell, Maryland, number 67.
Vern, we just talked about that ad-lib ability of Jake the Snake Plummer and what he can do to a defense. And you saw the Raiders defense really react well to that in the first play. Plummer didn't have anything. He moved around. He does what he can kill a defense with, that starts sliding in the pocket and looking for somebody. Very important for the Raiders to have that James Folston or somebody late to keep him in the pocket and tackle him.
3rd down and 11. Here Plummer with the cadence count. Blitz is coming. Got a clean shot, and Plummer gets rid of it to Chris Dedney. And Dedney might have enough for the first down. Jake Plummer dodged under the potential sack, completes it for the first down.
You're not a legend when you only played a couple of years, period, of real good football. Jake Plummer played some great years at Arizona State doing just this in this stadium, and that's the ad-libbing. If you don't get a shot on this guy, he'll make you remind him of Joe Montana. I mean, Joe Montana, and he escape as good as anybody I've seen.
Backs are split on first down. Plummer comes left out of the backfield to Larry Centers. And Centers tries to struggle out of the tackle of Eric Allen. Crosses the 50 and is down at the 47-yard line. 6-yard gain.
You know, the great thing about Jake Plummer, though, is when I talked to him on Friday, Vern, we had a little sit-down, just private little deal, and he says, you know, it's not like I've had 2 offenses. He goes, last year, I just learned enough of that offense to sort of be dangerous and sort of be able to do my thing. This is the first year he's really had to settle in and learn this entire Cardinals offense.
And he looks at his second down and 4 now. Frank Sanders on the far side. And the handoff to Morrell. He is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. James Harris is the first man there, and then James Holston, number 55, completes the job.
You know, one thing you've really seen, too, so far on the running plays from the Cardinals is they're looking and concentrating on this guy right here, Adrian Morrell. And that's going to be done by penetrating and stuffing up front. And look at this, the penetration and stuff up front from the Raiders defense. And Darrell Russell and that defensive line have got to do that consistently to stop that running game.
3rd and 4. See if the Raiders bring the house. They're coming. And Plummer's down. Second sack already for the Oakland Raiders. Richard Harvey, number 52, who was a late add to this team. And Darrell Russell said yesterday when they added Harvey, they put the cherry on the sundae.
Well, the reason you do this, too, is you've got corners that can cover man-to-man, and then you unload the entire bucket on the young quarterback. Ryan Leaf is seeing a lot of that. Peyton Manning's seeing a lot of that. And count on the fact that Jake Plummer will see all kinds of that today from the Raiders and their coordinator, Willie Shaw.
Scott Player on to punt. Desmond Howard waits for it with the fair catch signal at the 15-yard line. So the Cardinals move across midfield, but then are denied. 2 sacks for the Raider defense. They have the football when we return to the Valley of the Sun in Tempe. Sun Devil Stadium. Chicago coming to town this week, and the Cardinals draw well against them. Jeff George in his second season last week. 12 of 20, 1 touchdown, but significantly no interceptions and only 2 sacks. This is Tim Brown in motion. Now he comes back to the right side. The handoff goes to Napoleon Kaufman, and he dances out near the 18-yard line, tackled by Andre Wadsworth and Eric Swan. Offensively for the Raiders, Harlow, Wisniewski, Robbins, Graham, and Kennedy up front. Napoleon Kaufman had more than 100 on the ground last in the win. James Jett caught a 75-yard rebound pass off Kevin Smith of the Cowboys. 2nd down and 7. Back split. John Ritchie back in the lineup, and 2 wide receivers wide right. George with time, pumps, fires, and it's tipped at the line of scrimmage. It was intended for Tim Brown. And someone in the Cardinal defensive line got a hand up. Looked like it might have been Wadsworth. Defensively, a young defensive line. Simeon Rice missed practice on Friday, but he is in the starting lineup. And the linebackers Ronald McKinnon, Jameer Miller playing with a cast and a dislocated wrist. And in the secondary, Aeneas Williams, the anchor and all-pro. Back split, 3rd down. Good protection for George. Wings it out. It's intercepted, picked off by Kwame Lassiter. Lassiter weaving to the right, and the Cardinals have the first turnover of the game. They've got a first down at the 15-yard line after a 23-yard return.
And offensively, John Gruden has come out moving Tim Brown all over the football field, trying to create the matchups and the situations he wants. Jeff George with fine protection lets it fly, and it tips off the fingers of Brown, who gets racked right there by the rookie Pat Tillman, setting up that interception for Lassiter. That's not bad execution. That is letting the ball sail on you as a quarterback. Getting that thing too high, that should be laid in a lot lower than that, not stretching your receiver out. That interception is all Jeff George's.
2nd interception for Lassiter this year. The toss to Morrell, who cuts it back, and flags are down. James Harris, number 93, the first man there. Offside, Raiders. Johnny Greer is our referee today. Lomas Brown, long time with the Detroit Lions and many time All-Pro.
Offside, left tackle, deep, lined up in the neutral zone. Still first down.
Well, there's 2 ways that John Gruden's football team this year has really gotten themselves in trouble. One is sort of the obvious, is getting all kinds of penalties. They've averaged 13 in those first 3 games. And last week they cut way down on that. And the other is sacks against their quarterback, Jeff George. They only got 2 last week. They have 21 coming into this game, but they cannot afford stupid penalties.
1st and 5 out of the flip formation. Sanders comes left. And off, Morrell comes right to the traffic provided by Eric Allen of the Raiders, who had a sensational game last week in Dallas.
He's really set the tone, though, for, on the other side, you've got a defensive back that doesn't have that much experience in Charles Woodson. And Allen is making the plays. He's showing the young guy Charles Woodson how you do it in the NFL. And he's really setting the tone, along with Darrell Russell up front, for the way this defense wants to play.
Second down now and 5. Both wide receivers wide right. Play fake. Plummer dances left. Gets a block on the left side from McWilliams and is knocked out of bounds with the first and goal at the 3-yard line. Johnny McWilliams, number 87, a nice seal block on the left side to free Plummer.
But you got to love Jake Plummer. How many quarterbacks go into the hook slide at the very end and saying, here's the yards I want? Jake Plummer says no. I'm going to take on Richard Harvey, this linebacker. I'm going to get my team this first down. Look at that. That's lowering the shoulder. That's showing a lot of guts. It's not showing a lot of brains for a young quarterback because he's leading with that right arm and that right shoulder.
Cardinals in the red zone, 6 touchdowns and 3 field goals. That's good enough for a top 10 finish in the NFL. Jarius Hayes and Mario Bates in the backfield now on first and goal. Play action to Bates. Plummer flips it out wide open. McWilliams with his second touchdown catch of the season. His first provided the margin of difference in a victory over Philadelphia in the only other home game for the Cardinals this year.
Well, the Cardinal offense showed you a lot of guts on that last run by Jake Plummer. Now they're showing you some of the brains. Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator, lets the defense think I'm going to hammer you with Adrian Morrell and drags the young receiver young tight end out of USC, McWilliams, all the way across the formation for a layup, 6 points.
Now Joe Nedney for the extra point. Scott Player will hold. And Trey Junkin to snap it back. Kick is perfect. Kwame Lassiter, 20-yard interception return. Jake Plummer and Johnny McWilliams combined for the touchdown, and the Cardinals lead by 7. Joe Nedney getting ready to kick off. Mini drive for the Cardinals at 15 yards. After Lassiter's interception set them up with a first down at the 15, and Plummer ran 8. Now here is Desmond Howard. Back to return the Nedney kick, and this one will be returned from the 4. Howard has some room, cuts upfield, and is tackled at the 35-yard line. And let's check in with the third member of our commentary team right now. Here is Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Vern. Well, Jeff George has seen a lot in his NFL career, so I asked him if the Raiders' recent success should be viewed with cautious optimism. Surprisingly, he told me this year's team is absolutely different from past Raiders teams, and he says it stems with John Gruden. He said Gruden's impact was felt from day one of minicamp and hasn't wavered since. Gruden is totally devoted to winning, totally devoted to this football team, and last week's win at Dallas was a definite turning point. Vern?
All right, McLaughlin trying to get outside by Aeneas Williams. And he gets about one. Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown by the Cardinals.
I said it was a great call, but watch this. Mark Trestman puts backup tight end Matt Joyce in at tight end, who cleared. He drags along the backside with Johnny McWilliams with a play fake. The Raiders defense has got absolutely no clue what's going on. They got running backs coming at them. They got offensive tackles running around in the end zone, and everybody loses track of the tight end. That was a nice play call against the wrong defense.
Second down and 9 now. Cardinals threatening the blitz. That's McKinnon. Now he backs off. It's a 4-man rush. George across the middle behind Tim Brown. And Brown was open for the first down near midfield. This Tuesday on the all-new Jag, a U.S. soldier is accused of a crime that puts the entire U.S. Navy on trial. Jag, a new episode Tuesday at 8 o'clock, 7 Central on CBS.
You know, for one of the real keys, what Michelle said about Jeff George and the Raiders defense that Vince Tobin's defense is really facing right now is this offense is John Gruden's. Everything about this football team is John Gruden's.
Third down, George from the backside dodges that sack and flips it out. It's incomplete for Kaufman. Jeff George was sacked 10 times by Kansas City in game 1. 19 sacks in the first 3 games. There's a flag down. They limited to only 2 last week, and this will be offside Arizona, and a fresh chance now for the Oakland Raiders. Penalties have plagued this team in recent years.
There's a good reason neither one of these teams are really quite sure what sort of a football team they have
Offside.
yet.
97, defense, still third down.
That would be on Rice. twice.
In those type of mistakes, you get offsides on the defensive line. You get quarterback throw a ball a little high, turns into an interception, which leads to a touchdown. These teams have not found themselves yet.
3rd and 4 after the offside pass. 7-0 Arizona. George, short setup, comes right. This one he finds. The receiver makes the catch at the 46-yard line. Tim Brown has now caught a pass in 81 consecutive games. He is zeroing in the all-time yardage mark for the Raiders, held by Fred Biletnikoff.
Well, you watch Tim Brown come out of the slot here. He's going to see all kinds of number 35. Aeneas Williams, the cornerback, right there coming into the screen. He's going to swear that he's got a 35 jersey inside his 81 jersey for the game today, because Aeneas Williams will follow him everywhere. But Jeff George, I think, is going to be able to take advantage of that down the field with a fast receiver like James Jett going against a guy like J.B. Brown, who's in as a backup, because a regular cornerback, right cornerback Tom Knight, is out with injury.
Here's the stretch to see if Oakland got the first down, and they did. So a fresh set of downs for the Raiders, trailing 7-0. Tom Knight was injured on Thursday during practice, and they thought he might be able to go today, but he's on the inactive list. And J.B. Brown, picked up just before the regular season started from Pittsburgh, gets the start at right cornerback.
And they haven't gone after him yet, but it's just a matter of time.
That sounds ominous.
They will go after him.
Here's Brown, followed by Williams. A toss. Napoleon Kaufman comes right, gets a great block, and crosses the 50. He is tackled at the 46-yard line by Tony McCombs, number 50 for the Cardinals.
You know, nowadays everybody talks about fast defenses, and one of the most popular plays by the offense nowadays are the quick tosses. You know, the Jets did a great job this morning earlier against the Miami defense, which is supposed to be so fast with a quick toss, and that's exactly what Napoleon Kaufman and this offense has really gotten good at. Gruden's got him pitching the ball quick, pulling one quick lineman, and they get 5-6 yards before the defense knows what's going on.
Backs in the eye here on 2nd and 2. Kaufman, the deep back. George with a quick setup. They go left at J.B. Brown, and the catch is made. Well, no, it's Tim Brown. James Jett, beg your pardon. It is 82.
Well, one of the prerequisites, though, of going deep is when you get that much pad between the corner and the receiver, you got to do a little fishing. You got to throw that worm out there on the water, out there in front of the guy. You throw the worm out there in the water. In that case, James Jett just threw that worm out there, hoping he gets J.B. Brown to bite up. If he bites up, he's going to be gone.
On first down, Raiders spread it out. Here's Jett coming right side, and J.B. Brown again makes the tackle. Check out the official NFL website. Live play-by-play and statistics from every game. Plus, log on Monday morning for Week 5 highlights and recaps. Now, check me out on this on www.nfl.com.
That's one in a row.
I love a second chance. I haven't slept all week.
From last week?
Yeah.
Well, WLF, I'm sure there's one of those, too.
2nd and 7. 7-0, Raiders trail. Pickens in motion, the handoff up the middle. Napoleon Kaufman for a couple.
You know, the toss was good, Vern, and it looked fantastic, and you get out there, you got plenty of room. Napoleon Kaufman in this Raiders offense is not going to do much business inside against Mark Smith and Eric Swan. Those two guys will clog the inside of the Raiders offense. There's no doubt in my mind that Eric Swan right now is playing the best for a defensive tackle, making big money in the NFL. In spite of the cash, he's still bringing the game. That can't be said for all the guys around the league making big money.
3rd and 5, the play of the drive. George, good protection, crossing pattern. Mickens makes the grab, and it's going to be just short of the first down.
What a play by Pat Tillman. The Cardinals start two safeties who are basically linebackers. Tommy Bennett out of UCLA, Pat Tillman, the rookie out of Arizona State. He's a wild man. He's a nut, but he's a 3.82 student out of Arizona State who can read. He's smart, he reacts, and he just loves to come up and hit people. Now look at him. Tell me, the next picture has got to be a profile with numbers under it.
4th and 1. Harvey Williams struggles, leans inside, and I believe got the first down at the 31-yard line.
That's a veteran first down. I mean, that's because Harvey Williams had enough of a presence about him. When John Gruden calls the play, he knows if it's stuffed, I roll away from resistance. Resistance, I roll away from resistance, and in spite of Tony McCombs filling up and making that tackle, he gets that first down.
Harvey Williams, the one-year experiment with Harvey at tight end, is over. He's back as the backup to Napoleon Kaufman now.
And it was a great example with McCombs' hit there. When they come up and smack a running back, the young back doesn't always react away from that fear and resistance. He wants to fight it.
On first down and 10, George steps up, down the middle, man open, incomplete. James Jett was there. Slightly off the mark.
Jeff George has about the fastest arm and release out there right now with the bullets he throws. Watch his feet. He runs, he moves, he kind of side straddles, and he slings that thing. But the way he slings it, there are not many receivers out there that don't have hooks and Velcro on their hands that can stop a Jeff George bullet.
3 wide receivers wide right, 1 split left. At 2nd and 10. The toss, Ricky Dudley, the tight end, on a reverse and put that one back in the bank. Simeon Rice and Tony McCombs not fooled for a second.
Well, yuck. I mean, that play.
How analytic of you.
Here we go. I mean, I'm an offensive guy. I like innovation. I mean, give this to James Jett. Give this to Brown. You give this to Ricky Dudley. You and I could catch Ricky Dudley on the inside if we get a little support.
Well, I bank on you. I'm not so sure my part of that. 3rd and 12. Here come the Cardinals. There goes the pass, and it's incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Simeon Rice may have gotten a hand on it.
And the best part of that play right there, without a doubt in my mind, is a job done by Jameer Miller. Jameer Miller went with the back immediately. He read screen, and that's why Jeff George could not get rid of that thing. Simeon Rice and the rest of the defensive line got in Jeff George's face, but Jameer Miller was right on Napoleon Kaufman.
Greg Davis will try the field goal, 5 of 8 this season, and this will be officially from 52 yards. Snap is down. Eric Goose holds it. Got it! Got it! Well, he's having trouble with short kickoffs, but no problem with long field goals. Davis from 52. It's a 7-3 game. Career field goal of 50-plus. 13-play drive, 31 yards. And Greg Davis, officially now, they've changed it to a 51-yard field goal. And Eric Metcalf waits near the goal line. Last kickoff taken at the 15, this one at the 10. Metcalf goes right. Bounces into trouble and is down at the 30-yard line. Ball came loose, but the whistle had blown, and time has been called. Cardinals lead by 4. MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 has teamed up with CBS. Then they are providing the aerial coverage of today's game between the Raiders and Cardinals. The MetLife Blimp capable of reaching a maximum speed of 55 miles per hour and an altitude of 7,000 feet. Cold front moves through. It's 91 degrees. And Michael Pittman, rookie running back, split wide to the right. They come back to the left with a pass, and they did all of that, and then there's what happened. Larry Centers.
So far, both defensive lines, though, when they read screen and they're halfway there, they have not stopped and said, we better run back to the running back. They have gotten just steaming after these quarterbacks. So this offensive line, from what I've seen so far, had better stand up and stuff these defensive tackles, or somebody's going to get a quarterback killed.
Adrian Morrell, a one-play rest. He's back in the backfield behind Plummer. Plummer 3 of 3 throwing the ball so far. We'll slip this one to Morrell, and he is jammed up behind the line. There's Darrell Russell.
Yeah, last week, Darrell Russell abused the inside of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. A pretty good bunch. Look at him working right here against Daniel, getting a chance against Lomas Brown. Lomas Brown and any offensive linemen are not going to block Darrell Russell getting an edge.
Darrell Russell, excuse me, Randy.
It's a big old edge.
He weighs in at 320. And he was talking about the fella he's opposite against who weighs 350. That's a big collision. And here's another poor running play. Larry centers, and the tackle made by Richard Harvey, number 52.
The great thing about that, too, is right now the Raiders defense up front is getting great penetration, and at the same time on the backside, the responsibilities are perfect. Linebacker there in Harvey expecting the cutback. You think you're going to get Adrian Morrell, you stay where you're supposed to be. What do? You get Adrian Morrell and you tackle him.
Adrian Morrell now 4 carries for 1 yard. It's 4th down. Here is Scott Player. Desmond Howard will have it at the 28-yard line. Has a fence down the left side, and here he goes. Howard cuts back, looks for one more block. Caught from behind at the 30-yard line. But it's been his best punt return of the season. 41 yards. Timeout has been called. A 41-yard punt return by Desmond Howard.
Can't wait to see the ball come out of the air because he knows he's getting a seal on both sides. He's like, give it to me, give it to me. They give him the ball. His return team gives him the blocks. And if not for Mario Bates, 24, catching him from behind, he also gives his team 6 points.
1st and 10. That's Ritchie in motion. The toss goes to Kaufman. He gets a block from Ritchie. And inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Rashad Swinger, number 91, first-year man from Rutgers, makes the tackle. Now the Raiders offensively ranked 18th passing, 19th rushing, overall 18th, 306 yards per game. Nothing gaudy.
The rushing part, 109, that is going to get better. John Gruden is going to run the ball.
2nd and 9, a 7-3 Arizona lead. Blitz coming, George, pretty good pickup. Now he tries to freelance and throws it away. John Ritchie was in the vicinity, covered by Jameer Miller, number 95, and Jeff George limping. And also favoring his left wrist or hand. I'm not sure which.
Jeff George is a quarterback that can run, can move, but is not the kind of guy that needs to get out of the pocket this often. He's flushed out by McKinnon coming up inside from that middle linebacker position. He's staring right at Andre Wadsworth. Look at him grab that left hip, left groin area as he twists over across his body and makes that pass.
He looks at a 3rd and 9. Donald Hollis in place of Jeff George. Inside pressure. He's got a man, a one-handed catch by the rookie John Ritchie. 3rd-round draft pick from Stanford. But that's going to be short of the 1st down.
Vern, I saw Donald Hollis play quarterback in the preseason for the Oakland Raiders. He runs this offense more in the pure form that John Gruden wants to see. He doesn't have the rocket arm, so Donald Hollis here, the 6-year pro out of Rice, has to resort to the system. You'll see a more consistent John Gruden style offense with him.
Greg Davis has kicked one from 51. Leo Aragus will hold, and here's Davis from 40. And he splits it right down the middle. So Greg Davis coming back to the place where he played for 6 years. Perfect here in the 1st quarter. He is quarter of play, 8 seconds to go. Here's Davis. And again, a short kickoff, but this is best of the 3 inside the 10. And Eric Metcalf has some room. Eric Metcalf cuts loose and heads right, is tackled at the 34-yard line. A 58-yard return for number 21, same number worn by his father Terry Metcalf when this team played back in St. Louis. We'll return after this message.
Like to look at.
Frank Sanders in motion on the first play of the 2nd quarter. Plummer, straight drop back. Across it goes to Morrell. That's a gain of about 1. And let's go down and get a check on Jeff George. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Vermal. Raiders officials have told me that Jeff George has a groin pull on that left side. It's a new injury. His return is probable. However, he is on his way to the locker room right now, so we'll have to keep you posted, Vern. Back up to you.
All right, thanks, Michelle.
He no doubt is going in there to get wrapped. Right? They want to that thing as tight as possible, restrict that leg motion and that leg movement if we see him again. He's not a good stationary target, though. This offensive line is not that good against a defensive line like this. I don't know if you want to put a Jeff George and expose him to injury back in this ballgame.
Here comes the blitz. Play action. Plummer chased right. Scrambles. Has a man open. Ball is caught by Sanders inside the 15. Nice play by Jake Plummer. 19-yard gain.
That's a nice job, Jake Plummer. A great job by Sanders, but it's all set up by some great tenacious work up front. Watch the blocking up front. Are there people free? Yeah. But look right there. You're diving on top of people if you're Lester home. You're keeping your quarterback clean. That gives Jake Plummer the time to get out there, ad-lib, and create with Sanders.
Anthony Newman made the catch. Now both wide receivers come wide right on 1st and 10. Burrell, the deep back, with Larry Centers in the backfield. Into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Rob Moore. 13 yards. Moore gets the 6-pointer. And the Cardinals extend their lead.
What a great play for Rob Moore, too. He's a guy that had 97 catches or so last year, about 1,500 yards. Has not been the weapon earlier in the season that he usually has been. But right there, you saw the rookie, 24, Charles Woodson, take a gamble, take a risk, and lose. Plummer drills it perfectly. Moore for the touchdown.
Rob Moore playing with a pulled hamstring. That happened in the game against Seattle week 2, and it's still a problem for him. Now Joe Nedney with the extra point. Rob Moore gets the touchdown. Jake Plummer has thrown a couple today, and the Cardinals lead it 14-6 in the Valley of the Sun. 81 degrees, but it's a dry heat.
Well, no, you need a little light spritzing. See, the Raiders defense is being spritzed because Rob Moore and the Cardinal offense gave him a little torch.
Rob Moore with the touchdown catch. Here's Nedney with the kickoff. And that's his 6th touchback of the season.
I talked about Charles Woodson taking a gamble. Watch the young cornerback looking in at Jake Plummer. He's concentrating on the quarterback. He's not looking at Rob Moore, the receiver, straight across from him. He's looking. He doesn't see Rob Moore give that quick in and out. Rob Moore heads up the field. Woodson is concentrating exactly on Jake Plummer. Jake looks, he fires. Woodson's just out of position because he's reading the quarterback and loses track of the wide receiver.
Donald Hollis on in relief of Jeff George, and that one is knocked down in the line of scrimmage, and a flag is thrown by Johnny Greer, holding Oakland. Looks like Eric Swan might have made contact. Here's Johnny Greer.
Holding 72 offense.
That hold on Lincoln Kennedy. Been playing pretty solid right up here on the right side. Watch Lincoln Kennedy working right here. Hand around the neck. Look at the arms out there. Like, that wasn't me grabbing him. But Johnny Greer is all over that. Lincoln Kennedy knows that referee's got an excellent view of your hands from that angle.
1st and 20. Toss left. Kaufman to the 11-yard line. Eric Swan and Mark Smith combined for the tackle.
Wait, and that's an example of what Eric Swan can do from that defensive tackle. Watch what the possibilities and what could happen here if Napoleon Kaufman can cut back. Can he get there? No. Nice job on the onside by Mark Smith, but Eric Swan coming from the backside makes that play. That play was there for a second, but Swan's quick enough to close the hole.
2nd and 18. Hollis back. Comes left. Incomplete at the 20-yard line. Well, raising kids was a full-time job, so Ray and Deborah found the perfect babysitter. Now somebody's got to tell Grandma she's fired. An all-new episode of Monday night's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond. Tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, right here on CBS. 35-year-old John Gruden, first-year head coach, Oakland Raiders. Team comes in 2-2. His quarterback, however, is in the locker room. 3rd and 18 at the 12. comes the corner. The pass into the flat is caught by Harvey Williams, but Aeneas Williams is there to knock him out of bounds. It'll be 4th down.
Boy, is that a nice job by the Cardinals defense. So they know they've got a quarterback that might be flustered. What do? Do you blitz him? No, you don't blitz him. You just lay off your coverage and bring 4 guys up front. Watch what the defense does. They don't blitz. They get into their zones. Hollis has nowhere dangerous to go. Nice job by that Cardinals defense.
Leo Aragus is on to punt. Eric Metcalf, who's had problems with punt returns, only 4.6 average in the first 4 games. See what happens now, because he had that big kickoff return a moment ago. Here's Metcalf at the 30. A flag is down, so is Metcalf, and there is a loose ball.
I guarantee you that's going to be a face mask. Returners don't spin around that fast unless somebody grabs their face.
Johnny Greer.
There was definitely a hold going on from the blocking side, but Metcalf absolutely spun around in the air, it looked like.
Illegal blocking it back. Number 42 of the Cardinals doing the return is declined. The fumble is recovered by the Raiders. First down.
Wow.
There's that big break that John Gruden's team's gotten right now. That's a mistake that he's used to his team making. Do they make it? No, they take advantage of bad ball maintenance by Metcalf.
Donald Hollis on in relief of Jeff George. First down after the fumble by Eric Metcalf. And Hollis hands it off to Napoleon McCaughlin. Skips to the outside. Plunges inside the 25 and down to the 23-yard line. Tackle made by J.B. Brown. A 14-yard gain.
And what a great illustration on that run of the kind of running back you got, Napoleon Kaufman. Your defensive back. Remember, this guy is fast and he is strong. At 185, 190 pounds, this guy is the strongest player on this Raiders football team, and he's quick. How do you tackle that?
Jet wide left. Tim Brown wide right. Hollis, 3-step drop, comes left for Jet. J.B. Brown with a tackle at the 20-yard line.
J.B., they're going to be back. Don't lighten now. They're setting you up with these short ones. You're going to give them this kind of a pad, they're going to throw here. You move up any closer than that, they're going to go there. The Raiders are being very patient. John Gruden can be very patient. But, man, he's got to be chomping at the bit to bring his fast guy downtown.
Now Tim Brown starts in motion to the right side. They hand it to Kaufman. He comes left. Proceeds to the 15-yard line, where it will be 3rd down. Tackle made by Mark Smith, number 93.
And so far, we're seeing a defense, and Simeon Rice is looking very good for a guy that had sort of a pulled muscle, missed a couple days of practice. When we saw him Friday, he barely sitting on the ground, could barely bend over and really stretch normal, but the effects really have not seemed to be bothering him that much.
3rd and 3. Oakland 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions thus far. Back split behind Donald Hollis. Blitz coming by the Cardinals, and it's knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. 4th down. And Greg Davis is going to try and convert his 3rd field goal of the first half.
Now, when an offensive line blocks, they want the pocket to look kind of like this, kind of like a big happy face. This one's almost kind of a straight line. Watch it collapse right into Hollis's lap, mainly due to the defense up front. Mark Smith inside, Swan inside, and coming from that outside, Simeon Rice.
Greg Davis from 51 and 40 already in the first half.
It's gone.
His 3rd field goal is up and perfect. Greg Davis 3 for 3 in the first half of play. 10:07 to go first half. Arizona by 5. From Jake Plummer. One caught by McWilliams, one by Rob Moore, and it's 14-9. But it's a dry heat.
It will sap you. You watch in the second half, these big Raider linemen, they will start moving a lot slower.
Davis with the kickoff. This the shortest of the day. Taken at the 16 by Metcalf. Here we go again. And Davis knocked out of bounds and hurting at the 40-yard line.
almost a photocopy of the one before. The ball hangs up just not quite long enough and short. And look at the wall that's going to be formed right in front of Metcalf, right about here. He just sees that shoot and says, thank you very much. Getting that kind of great blocking up front. Oh, that's just fantastic. You see Greg Davis gets abused there in the sideline, just basically manages to run Metcalf out of bounds, but the big block was Michael Pittman blocking there in front of him.
First down from the 40-yard line. Plummer, play action, puts it on his hip, goes across the middle and has it knocked down backwards. And there's a flag down as well, thrown on the near side of the field.
So illegal use of hands defensively. That's past the 5-yard line. The defensive back made contact.
Illegal contact. Number 24, defense. First down.
John Gruden's so proud of his team because they only had 4 penalties last week in the win at Dallas. They're having problems with penalties, among other things, today.
Well, it's a little sloppier game, and it really surprises me offensively, the ineffectiveness of John Gruden's offense. You know, Jeff George isn't in there, but they just don't seem to have it going passing game-wise. They aren't trying. I don't know why they're not going deep.
Morrell can't find much working either. He's knocked down at the 35-yard line by Darrell Russell. Well, the Oakland Raiders have given up 12 first downs by penalty. That leads the league.
And the majority of that, though, Vern, was those first 3 weeks. They might as well have been dressed in red and white and had a white beard because they were all playing Santa Claus.
2nd and 10. Blitz. Plummer pulls up, man open deep, tipped incomplete. Larry Centers was there, couldn't keep it in his hands.
Now, what's the word I want to use? Is it suspense? Is it anticipation? Plummer throws us up high. Watch Centers. I got it. When's it coming? He just knows he's going to get drilled. And that ball is just high enough that if he can't extend completely to get it, he's going to have a problem. And he just can't time it and get up there and grab it and not think about that drill coming in his back.
On 3rd down now, Larry Centers stays on the field. Eric Metcalf joins the group. Raiders threaten the blitz. They're coming. Plummer on a line. It's incomplete. Intended for Rob Moore. Marquise Walker, number 38, got deep and knocked it down.
When you're a quarterback and you read or think it's man and you want to throw to a man spot, but instead it's zone, Marquise Walker, 38, was right there in that zone spot. If it's man coverage, Jake Plummer's got himself a completion.
4th down. And Scott Player puts it way up in the air. Desmond Howard with a fair catch at the 13-yard line. So the Raiders deny Arizona after the long kickoff return by Eric Metcalf. Oakland has the ball back.
And Jeff George remains in the locker room. He's having that left groin further examined. Just a few minutes ago, his return status was probable. That's grown to doubtful. Vern, Randy, back up to you.
All right, Michelle, and Donald Hollis, who has not played all that much despite 6 years in the league, is in at quarterback now in replace of Jeff George. Hollis back across the middle, incomplete. Intended for Ricky Dudley, his tight end. Next Saturday, NASDAQ College Football will feature regional matchups. In some areas, you'll see Tennessee against Georgia, or it's a war between the state when Florida State takes on the Miami Hurricanes. Next Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time.
How about them dogs, Vern? They beat LSU yesterday.
I noticed that.
I live down in the South now, so it's either get with the cult or move. So you got to be excited about college football.
Handoff left side out to the 15-yard line. Jameer Miller makes the tackle of Napoleon Kaufman.
Jameer Miller is a linebacker playing in a lot of pain right now. Here's a guy that dislocated his wrist a couple of weeks ago, and somehow he decides, I don't need surgery. And the 5th-year guy out of UCLA says, you know, hey, you just cast this thing up for me and I'll play with it. And he's able to really tackle and do everything he needs to do. And he's playing very well. He's been the big key defensively for the Cardinals.
3rd and 8, Hollis back. Here comes the pressure. Hollis in trouble and had to get rid of it. Simeon Rice was all over him.
Well, Simeon Rice shows you a little bit of the reason a guy like this gets drafted this high. Look at that great move, hurdling the running back. That was his first great move. The second move is being able to stop all that motion, get back towards the quarterback, and put the pressure on Donald Hollis. Just excellent pressure by the entire defense. Nice job of coverage down the field by the DBs and linebackers.
Aragoose will punt. Metcalf fumbled the last punt return to set up a field goal for the Raiders. And this one's a line drive punt. Metcalf has to run over, takes a nice Oakland bounce back toward midfield. And one comes to a rest at the 34-yard line. 50-yard punt, nothing on the return. And next Sunday, the NFL on CBS.
Better than they played in the last game of the year in the Super Bowl last year against the Packers.
Plummer, the quarterback. The toss goes to Morrell. And he is knocked down at the 35-yard line. Now Jake Plummer in his second season as a starter. 6 of 8 in the early going here. As the snap, play action comes right for Frank Sanders out of a tackle. And the secondary pursuit catches up with him. He's knocked down at the 44-yard line, a gain of 9. Richard Harvey. First and 10. There's the pass. Oh, beauty. On a line, but there's a fumble. No, ball is down. Greg Biekert picks it up for the Raiders, but the official right there and says no.
I don't think it was a fumble. He just got caught.
Well, he got a 12-yard gain. Perceptions.
Watch out.
Yep.
Makes you want to honk your horn, doesn't it?
That was Charles Woodson drawing a bead. Tight end setting out. Chris Gedney's in. Here's Plummer. Into the flat, picked off, and here we go the other direction. This will be the Heisman Trophy winner, Charles Woodson. His second interception in as many weeks, his first touchdown in the National Football League.
Vern, we've told you about the corners. They watch the quarterback. Charles Woodson never took his eyes off Jake Plummer. Jake Plummer told us, I know they do it. Well, if you know they do it, why are you going to let him do this to you? He's looking, he's throwing. He's not looking at Adrian Morrell. He's looking at Jake Plummer, and Plummer gives him the ball. And now you can just sort of play act and do your best Deion Sanders. This young guy is going to make a lot of happy faces, smiling faces in the Bay Area before his career is over. He's one of the best right now as a young guy.
Had a big interception last week to help preserve the victory over Dallas. He'll put that ball on the mantle. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and George Seifert. Scores.
Throwing these things 10 feet off the ground and bouncing them back there to the returner rather than kicking them short like that.
Metcalf, not sure what to expect from Aragoose. That's a pretty good kickoff. Metcalf at the 2-yard line. Metcalf at the 20. And Eric Metcalf down at the 26-yard line.
All right, Charles Woodson. Watch Woodson. He's on the corner. He's up tight. People thinking man. A quick jab, and he just says, I am going to fill up. What a great job by Woodson. You know, this is the kind of play that makes a Charles Woodson a Heisman Trophy winner. It was the kind of play that made him so good at Michigan, and give him a lot of credit. Not a lot of young guys can transfer over that type of big playability into the pro level.
Raiders up by 2 with 5:03 to go, first half of play. Morrell with a fumble, loose ball, and we'll see. Arizona retains possession.
Who's the star for Arizona? That would have absolutely killed them if they had to give that one up. Nice job by James Dexter, the right tackle. Adrian Morrell getting the handoff, never quite gets it. Jake Plummer put that right into the middle, into the old breadbasket, and it came bouncing out of the breadbasket, and James Dexter, luckily for the Cardinals, recovered that.
Second down and 13. Play fake. Plummer being chased, gets rid of it left side. Catch is made by Frank Sanders, and Charles Woodson is there to make the tackle.
Now, right now, the Raiders defense and their coordinator, Willie Shaw, is what I like to refer to as really smiling and dialing. They have got it going on. They're keeping young quarterback Jake Plummer just a little bit on edge and confused. He's attacking. The guys are playing the proper creases and areas. And you look at what this Raider defense has done and the changes they're making and the improvement they're making is an improvement in progress. So they're not done getting better.
Third down. Plummer. As he lets it go, it's picked off again. This one down the sideline. Marquise Walker in. Touchdown. No. Bring it back to the 4-yard line. One official gave him 6. The other set out of bounds at the 4. Jake Plummer was in the arms of a defender and threw it right into the arms of Marquise Walker.
You can have a 5.0 grade point average, which I don't know if it's possible or not because I never sniffed anywhere near one of those, but doesn't matter how book smart you are, folks. You get out here on the football field and they start throwing those bullets around your ears and you start ducking and you start looking for a friend to throw the ball to, you can get caught in bad situations. And Marquise Walker did a nice job of anticipating Jake Plummer right there. And Vince Tobin's quarterback has made a couple of bad mistakes in a row and really been taken advantage of by a defense that is really being alert. And really, I mean, Willie Shaw has done a great job with this young defense.
3 turnovers now. 2 interceptions in the last 2 Arizona possessions. Hollis hands it off. Kaufman plunges over left guard and is down inside the 1.
It's on the 4-yard line right there, but they're a football team.
Here's the handoff to Kaufman. Tries to go over the... It's Harvey Williams instead. Donald Hollis into quarterback. Play fake. Hollis rolls out, bumps, keeps, runs, almost loses it. And he's in. He crossed the plane. That's a touchdown, Oakland. The ball popped and he grabbed it back as it crossed the plane.
All set up by Marquise Walker in that interception, and a great effort there by Donald Hollis. Watch the ball. It only has to crease it. It does not have to go in the end zone. It has to crease the white line. Does it crease it? Absolutely. It goes through it. It's 6 points. Once that ball creases, the entire deal's over. Doesn't matter where the ball ends up, as long as it's in the possession of the player.
Greg Davis on to try the extra point. Charles Woodson returned 1 interception for a touchdown. This one set up by Marquise Walker. Touchdown.
Mistakes. And John Gruden has got this football team last week and this week not making those big mistakes.
Here's Aragoose again. Second kickoff for Leo Aragoose, and it's taken at the 4-yard line by Metcalf. Out to the 30-yard line. 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining first half of play. Disastrous quarter for Jake Plummer and the Arizona Cardinals. Plummer had 1 picked off by Woodson, returned for a touchdown, and the other Marquise Walker. Jim, Marcus, Brent, and George coming up with scores and highlights on the NASDAQ halftime report.
Very important for this quarterback to settle down and get the kind of play calling that's very conservative. Give him a little confidence back, because right now this defense hasn't rattled.
Backs are split. Darrell came across. Well, Larry Centers makes the grab, tries to get out of the tackle, and is down at the 37-yard line as we near the 2-minute warning. That's a gain of 12 for the Cardinals, but they're looking up now. 2 minutes to go, first half. Oakland on top, 23-14. Command
Higher than I'm going. Can't be much higher than us.
No, it isn't. He's at 1,200. We're at 1,800. Here's a pass to Frank Sanders out to the right side, and that will move the chain with the first down.
And, you know, Mark Trestman wants Jake Plummer to calm down and for the offense just to be very patient. There's plenty of time here for this offense, and you've seen a run, a good play, a good pass right there. They've got to be very aware, though, and especially Jake Plummer, what this defensive backfield's doing, because right now they are gambling. They're taking the big shots, and they made you pay for the big shots.
Metcalf split wide to the left on 1st and 10. Plummer lets it go, incomplete. That one looked like it was catchable. Metcalf.
It's the second time we saw Larry Centers on a high middle pass seem to sort of grow the alligator arms a little bit and not want to catch it before the contact. I don't think this is a case of not wanting to catch the ball. I just don't know if Metcalf is completely ready for the ball. You know, Metcalf looked like a kick returner there that shouldn't be in there as a wide receiver on that play.
Eric Allen defends him wide left on 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. Plummer pumps, pulls up and lets it go. Flag is down. The catch is made. We'll see if the play stands.
It's going to be illegal contact against Woodson, I think. Working against Moore.
Pass interference. 85. Offense. Joe, 2nd down.
Guy just went from the pushy to the pusher. Keep an eye on 85 right there. There's Rob Moore. Oh, come on. That is pretty weak. You see a guy plant in front of you. What are you supposed to do? I just think the interpretation on that can be extremely weak at times, because I guarantee you one thing right now. Jerry Rice does that. Michael Irvin does that. The official almost applauds the catch. He doesn't call that. Rob Moore at this point doesn't have the status of one of those guys, so he's going to be called for offensive pass interference.
And that sets up a 2nd down and 20. 4-man rush by the Raiders. Plummer into the flat left side. Another flag is down. Adrian Morrell makes the catch at the 40. The tackle by Beekert, holding, bring it back. Vince Tobin's team trying to get above 500. They're at 2-2 for the first time since 1991.
Holding. 72. Offense. Still 2nd down.
That's large Jerome Daniels, who is starting in place of Chris Dishman this week.
There's Jerome Daniels. He's kind of hard to miss right there. Up, over, push the first guy down, and just yanks the second guy. That was holding, and right now Jake Plummer and this offense are in full burning rubber screech.
5th penalty on Arizona. 2nd and 30. Handed off to Morrell. He's got a chance to pick up some yardage. Across the 40 to the 41. Eric Turner, number 42, makes the tackle. That's a gain of 17.
That was two things. That was a nice play call by Mark Trestman with an offense that's in reverse. And number 2, great execution by this offensive line and Adrian Morrell. Because you know Willie Shaw and that defense knew there was something like a draw. They weren't going to throw another pass after that lack of success.
3rd and 13. Plummer got him for the 3rd time. Lance Johnstone's 4th sack of the season, 1st this afternoon.
It's not bad protection. It's very good coverage down the field. Your young quarterback can't ad-lib. He's got to put a little mustard on that dog and eat it.
We go before the halftime breaks. Here on to punt for the 4th time, and Desmond Howard waits for it. Howard at the 19. Out to the 31-yard line. 50-yard punt, 13 on the return, and the Raiders get it back. 53 seconds to go before the break. Donald Hollis out of Rice University started his career as a defensive back and was with Cincinnati with the Bengals for 3 years, but only saw action in 12 games. Out of football for a couple of years, and then made it as a free agent with this ball club last year as their number 3 quarterback.
Oh, he couldn't play for the Bengals because he wasn't left-handed. You know, they had Boomer and Wilhelm and whatnot. If you're not left-handed for Bruce Coslet, then you couldn't play for the Bengals.
Here's Hollis on a crossing pattern to John Ritchie, 3rd-round draft pick from Stanford, and that's a gain of 9.
Wow,
Jameer Miller.
Last week they gave him the ball on a run, and this week they actually throw it to him. Guy's a glorified guard out of the backfield.
2nd. Hollis. Ricky Dudley, the tight end. Jameer Miller with a tackle, and that's a 1st down.
Now, you see the last couple of plays, you're seeing John Gruden's offense, what he wants to do.
Time is called by the Raiders. A 30-second timeout, and stops the clock with 28 seconds to go. Tomorrow when Doug's wife,
The tight end, You know, John Gruden would love to take one deep right here. I mean, he's got to test this defense deep.
Now here's Hollis. Oh, they got him. No, they didn't. Hollis, showing some athletic ability, gets out of the sack and gets back to the 47-yard line, 48.
Unbelievable that he escapes this one. You've got all kinds of pressure going to start coming. Aeneas Williams is the pressurer coming from that cornerback position. That's just a case of that. He's not used to being in that position.
Would that make Hollis the pressuree?
Exactly. Pressuree, and the pressurer, Mr. Williams, is not familiar with the technique of tackling a quarterback on a blitz. It's one of the best man-to-man corner guys in the league.
2nd and 10. 19 seconds to go. Here's Hollis. Flag is down. Pass is complete. Nope. Incomplete. Maybe a moot point. This one could be coming back for a holding call. Twill.
The quarterback. Here's Wisniewski, 76. Oh, I'd say he's got a little bit of a grab there on Smith. Oh, my goodness. I like that. That's getting your money's worth. Bad timing, but that's getting your money's worth.
2nd down and 20. Williams out to the 50-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 9 with 7 seconds to go as Tommy Bennett makes the tackle. Out used by the Raiders, and they stop the clock with 7 seconds to go. Check out CBS Sportsline, the NFL archive, where you get all of the top stories, photos, and stats.
You just don't have the time to get down to about the 35-yard line and this little time allotted. You're not going to get back, throw the ball, get it out, and get it done unless you have absolutely perfect timing. We saw it earlier in the year, executed perfectly by the Baltimore Ravens one time, but you don't see this kind of coordination, especially with a backup quarterback.
3 wide receivers to the right side, split left. Cardinals with a 4-man rush. Hollis lets it go into triple coverage, and this will be picked. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Lassiter had a chance for his second and had a chance for a big return, and who knows what might have been. End of the first half. 23-14 Oakland. The NASDAQ halftime report with Jim, Marcus, Brennan, George coming up. That's
time of possession be as close as you want, but all the way around, John Gruden's football team is playing very, very smart, and the Cardinals are just being taken advantage of. They're making young mistakes against a pretty young team, and here's the youngest mistake maker.
Jake Plummer, who threw 2 to his guys and then 1 to theirs. All 3 for touchdowns.
Well, a lot of positives. He take advantage right here of Charles Woodson guessing for the touchdown. And now the Cardinals should have been able to take advantage of this. Jeff George scrambling left, throwing to his right. Gets what's been diagnosed as a muscle pull, but if you're going to guess wrong and you got that sword out and it hurt you the first time, keep that sword out and keep guessing if you're Charles Woodson. And he did a nice job of making Jake Plummer play. And Friday, Jake Plummer told us, I know these guys guess. I know the safeties guess. I know the corners guess. I got to find a way to make them pay. And he made them pay on the one to Rob Moore, but those 2 interceptions really, really hurt this football team.
Plummer's numbers 11 of 17. Donald Hollis scored his first rushing touchdown in the National Football League in the second quarter. 5 of 10 for 39 yards through the air, and then got the touchdown from a yard out.
Cardinals, though, 20 yards rushing in the first half. They need to get Jake Plummer some run yards, because of the 20 yards, Jake Plummer himself has 80. Made that one run where he challenged the linebacker and got the first down, and that's been pretty much the highlight of the running game.
Joe Nedney will kick off. Desmond Howard, one of 2 men deep. Calvin Branch, the other, number 27. The Raiders and the Cardinals, both teams striving for a 3-2 record. Desmond Howard waits at the goal line, and here's Joe Nedney. And for the second time today, touchback. And let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Vern. Well, John Gruden told me he does not expect Jeff George to return to this game, but he also said that his defense is doing exactly what he expected it to do, and that is to compensate for a struggling offense. As for Vince Tobin, he was disappointed in Jake Plummer's interceptions and has asked him to throw more selectively. Tobin told his team at halftime this game is still very winnable. Guys?
That's a great comment too, Michelle, from Vince Tobin about his quarterback, because, you know, like he said, he told us, hey, they're going to look. I've got to take my shots, and Vince Tobin telling him, the heck with your shots, just stay in the offense.
First down, Donald Hollis continues now in place of Jeff George. The handoff, Napoleon Kaufman, and he is spilled after a 2-yard gain to the 22-yard line.
But if you thought the Raiders offense was a little conservative, used to seeing in the first half, with a lead, John Gruden is going to try to just fill this ball with sand and make it as heavy as possible. Kaufman 11 for 42, big deal? No. He'll be well over 20 carries by the middle of the fourth quarter, because John Gruden is going to pound this ball, and take air out of the ball, and take time off the clock.
Second down and 8. And here's Hollis with a quick setup on the line to his tight end, and that's good to move the chains out to the 31-yard line. Ricky Dudley makes the catch. First round pick in 1996. Well, we were chatting with Napoleon Kaufman yesterday. The rap on him at 5'9", 185 was that he wasn't strong enough to be an every down back. He said, how many guys in the league carry it 30 times a game? Not that many.
Well, Napoleon Kaufman, too, reminds me of Walter Payton in that they are strong enough to stand up behind any one of their offensive linemen and pick them up off the ground. This guy is incredibly strong physically.
There's the audible from Donald Hollis. John Ritchie, the fullback, is up short. A hand to Kaufman. He goes right and is hit and dropped from behind by Rashad Swinger, number 91. He was telling us, Randy, yesterday that he's always been fascinated by weight training. When he was 13 years old and he weighed 140 pounds, he bench pressed 225. That's not bad.
Well, he weighs 185, and watch what I'll do here to 185. You can take that and make that a 4 if you want to talk about what this guy can bench press. I mean, he is unbelievably strong for a running back.
Backs are split on second down. Here comes the blitz. They flip it into the flat, and it is caught by Kaufman. He is out of the backfield to the 41-yard line. Ronald McKinnon, number 57, catches up with him. Ronald McKinnon, who made this club as a free agent linebacker out of North Alabama.
If you're an old-time Raider fan and you're watching the offense now being run by Hollis and being called by John Gruden, if you love the old vertical stuff, and the Raiders haven't lost all the vertical stuff, the key to this offense, what they're doing right now, and Hollis is a quarterback that is better equipped to run this offense, in my opinion, than Jeff George. Jeff George is more talented. He has all the tools, but Hollis is better equipped to run a conservative offense.
Hand off to Harvey Williams as Kaufman left the field. And Williams out near the 48-yard line around the right side. 5-yard pickup for Harvey Williams.
I know to a lot of folks out there that might sound kind of strange about Hollis being better equipped, but you know, really by that I mean this offense is so different, and Hollis's expectations are so different from Jeff George's. Jeff George wants to be a star in this league. Jeff George wants to throw the long ball. Jeff George wants to show off his arm. Hollis has none of those expectations. He doesn't want to be a star right now. He wants to be solid. He wants to be consistent, and that's what Gruden wants out of his offense.
Backs are in the eye, and Hollis hands it off to the 50-yard line. McKinnon with another tackle of Harvey Williams.
I talked earlier in the game about Eric Swan, and in the first half, Eric Swan had 5 tackles and had quietly gone about business, making some pretty key plays. Here working against Derek Graham, 74. If you can get an Eric Swan to a standstill right there like Derek Graham did, that's a win. Eric Swan not in your backfield is a win. If he's in your backfield, he's disrupting things.
3rd and 2. Tim Brown in motion. Play fake, Hollis. Incomplete for John Ritchie, and the Raiders will have to punt.
John Ritchie looked like he couldn't decide if he wanted to catch it, pop it, or knock it down. There's a quick swing pass out there to the fullback, and definitely caught the Cardinals defense sort of surprised, because you don't really expect the Raiders to throw that ball to that fullback.
Now Leo Araguz will punt it to Terry Metcalf. He waits at the 10. Araguz, a bit of a pressure, and that one will go out of bounds at the 15-yard line. A 36-yard punt, nothing on the return. Arizona Cardinals find themselves down by 9, but they've got the football in the heat of the desert. To see Jeff George in civvies out with a groin pull. early in the second quarter, but his team rallied behind Donald Hollis and defensive secondary, and they lead by 9. And boy, the ground game has not been there for the Cardinals. Morrell had 14 yards before that one. That may be negated, however, by holding the ball. Face mask. Whoops. So it'll go against Oakland. Johnny Greer. Early moments, third quarter. Here's Greer.
Face mask. 52. Defense. Still first down.
Richard Harvey now gets to chat with John Gruden on the sideline. Well, they told us it was going to be in the upper 80s. It's a little warmer than that today.
As you can see, that's not in the sun. I mean, that thing's sitting on the sideline against the wall. It was a factor later on in this game, especially the Raiders in black.
First and 7. There's a pass. Johnny McWilliams makes the grab, and that'll be enough for a first down at the 28-yard line. Anthony Newman, number 30.
These kind of plays, though, for Jake Plummer right now have to serve as his running game. You hear that a lot in this style of an offense, but when you have Adrian Morrell having 14 yards on 8 carries, you got to find a way to get the ball conservatively down the field. And right now it looks like little swing passes backs and short flares to the tight ends. It's got to be the running game for Jake Plummer.
Michael Pittman gets his first carry of the game out to the 31-yard line. Well, we're up here in the booth. Michelle Tafoya gets to bask in the sunshine. How's the weather down there?
Well, you know, Vern, it's really not that bad because there are quite a few breezes blowing, and it's keeping it pretty cool. A couple of the Cardinals reminded me of a game 2 years ago when they hosted the Atlanta Falcons, who were also wearing black. It was the second week of October, but it was 104 degrees, and by the fourth quarter, the Falcons were dying. That doesn't seem to be the case down here today.
It's all relative, I guess, huh?
I always hated playing here because you knew at the fourth quarter your tongue was going to be dragging on the grass.
Here's Plummer. Sanders made the catch, dropped the ball. Did he get it back? Believe so. Albert Lewis, number 29, was there to make the tackle.
You know, even when this Raiders defense doesn't make the play, they're trying to make the play. Look at Albert Lewis. He's making the adjustment, going from corner now, working at safety, and slaps that ball out of Sanders' hands. And you know, this is the influence of a Willie Shaw. You put quarterback, you get pressure on the quarterback who thinks he threw a fumble or an interception nearly. At a safety like Lewis making turnovers.
3rd and 4. Plummer, right side, incomplete. Intended for Sanders. Marquise Walker defending. And the Cardinals will have to punt.
Well, the Raider defense is taking the middle of the field away from Jake Plummer and forcing him to work on the outside, and that's such a dangerous place for this young quarterback because they're taking so many chances from the Raiders standpoint on the outside. He makes the wrong move, it's going to be another 6 the other way.
Scott Player on the punt. Desmond Howard waits at the 22.
Okay.
Howard at the 13. Chased and driven down at the 20-yard line. 50-yard punt. 7 on the return. Nice downfield coverage by backup linebacker Mark Maddox. 8 minutes 30 seconds remaining third quarter. 23-14 Oakland. Donald Hollis 7 of 13 on in relief of Jeff George. John Ritchie sets up to the right side. Napoleon Kaufman directly behind. He gets the toss. Good penetration by Mark Smith, and here's what a block by Hollis, and Kaufman out of bounds at the 30 line. Well, Donald Hollis.
You remember that old movie, The Accidental Tourist? This is the accidental blocker because this play has got no intention of going this far outside, and Hollis made a good speed bump. Well, maybe he's not quite a speed bump. We'll give him the obstacle grade. But that play was meant to go to the right, and it was a nice job initially by the defense. We talked about the discipline of the Raiders defense on the backside. There was no discipline on the backside of the Cardinals defense.
First down and 10. Tim Brown in motion. 4-man rush by Arizona. Pass is complete. Fumble. Who got it? Incomplete pass.
So, this is the point of the football game that Vince Tobin knows is a momentum swinging occasion or opportunity for his defense. They're going to have a chance here to make a big play. Here's what possibly could have been one of the chances by a nice tackle by Jameer Miller, who strips that ball out immediately. So obviously that was not a fumble. That's just a no catch because of a great linebacker play by Jameer Miller.
Tim Brown sets up to the right side. Harvey Williams back in the backfield now. 2nd and 10, Oakland. Toss to Williams, goes right. John Ritchie leading the way, and Ritchie with a brush block to give Williams time to get across the 35 out near the 40-yard line.
Anybody that has any doubts about if Harvey Williams still has speed, watch just the sprint out to the right. Watch the lineman. You've got a big guy like Lincoln Kennedy coming outside trying to get himself a block. Actually gets a little bit of a chip on Jameer Miller, but that is just pure outside speed. Catch me if you can offense for Harvey Williams and the Raiders.
3rd and 1 from 41. Hollis has it knocked backwards by Jameer Miller. Take a look at that cast. They cock his wrist. He's got a dislocated wrist. They cock it and cast it about an hour before the game so he can actually tackle.
Well, he should show that cast to his offensive linemen around the league, because the reason he's got it back like that is give him a chance to grab better. He says, I got to be able to jab and grab tight ends and running backs.
Leo Aragus on to punt. Metcalf waits at the 15. Metcalf at the 25. Metcalf hauled down by Richard Harvey as he crosses the 35. 20-yard counterpunch by Metcalf of a 42-yard punt.
Miller's been a big part of things, as Randy and Vern have mentioned. He actually alternates between 2 casts on that dislocated left wrist. This is his everyday cast that he wears, this one here. It keeps his wrist relatively straight, but this is the cast he wears during game action. And as you can see, it's bent at the wrist so that he can push, grip, and even break a fall and even catch a football if he has to, guys.
All right, Michelle, he says he has a dress cast and a game cast. And here's Plummer. Out of the backfield, Centers to the 41-yard line. Jarring tackle made on Larry Centers by Eric Turner, number 42.
If you're not used to seeing the Oakland Raiders this year in 1998, you may be as surprised as I am, really, to see the way this team is playing defense, and not so much the guessing by the corners or whatnot, but Willie Shaw's defense is doing something Raider defenses haven't done for a long time, and that's run and sprint to the ball. You see they miss one tackle, the next 3 guys get them.
The handoff, Centers trying to weave his way left side. Willie Shaw, of course, was a defensive backfield coach at New Orleans last year when John Gruden hired him. And John said, I just operated under the theory of hire the guys who hurt you the most. And Willie Shaw's defense, while he was at St. Louis, had always given John Gruden's offense problems.
And the significant year really is in '95 when he was with St. Louis and what he did with that team, because that was not a very talented football team in St. Louis.
3rd and 5, 23-14, and timeout. As the game clock ran down, the Cardinals call time. They trail by 9, 23-14, Oakland. Third down, Arizona has its last 6 third downs. They converted their first, and they're now 1 of 7. Here comes the blitz. Plummer across the middle, incomplete. Intended for his tight end, Gedney. And Anthony Newman, who came here because Willie Shaw came here from New Orleans, knocks it away.
Well, Jake Plummer is just trying to anticipate. He knows he's getting a blitz. He knows he's getting man coverage down the field, and he just overreads Gedney, his tight end. Newman did a nice job of shadowing the tight end, but Gedney was open. Just Plummer couldn't get him the ball.
Howard waits at the 15. Scott Player. Nice punt. Desmond Howard goes over, And this one gets a nice Arizona bounce. Out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Excellent job by Scott Player. A 53-yard punt. And they pin the Raiders inside the 5. Time has been called. 5:44 to go. Third quarter. Stay conservative here?
Absolutely. They got a severe case of the back-em-ups right here. You don't want to do anything real dumb.
Double tight end set for the Raiders. The handoff goes to Kaufman. Tries to cut back. Loses a yard. Down at the 2.
Hey, your money players make your money plays when they have to. Eric Swan makes this play. You know, Mike Lombardi made a comment on the pregame show today about Warren Sapp getting the big money and being fat and not making the big plays when he had to. There's a guy making the big money in Eric Swan, coming from that right defensive tackle spot. That's big money play from Eric Swan.
6 tackles today for Eric Swan. John Ritchie in the lineup now. Backs are split on 2nd and 11. Hollis from the end zone. A lot of time. Tries to find the Kaufman and does. A flag is down at the 12-yard line. Kaufman is down at the 11.
You got a defensive holding, I believe.
Yes, sir. Automatic first down.
Your defensive lineman, Eric Swan, makes the money play, and somebody in the backfield makes a stupid play.
Holding, 95, defense, first down.
I don't know how he could.
Remember, we talked about Jameer Miller has that cast on his hand. He's working against Ricky Dudley here as he lines up around the head with the right hand that doesn't have the cast on it. That's exactly what the official sees, is the right hand that was originally wrapped in the face was impeding him with that right arm. That's a good call by the official and a bad idea by Miller.
They slip it to the fullback, only his 2nd carry. John Ritchie, he had 1 carry last week in the win at Dallas. Ritchie is down at the 9-yard line.
You know, if the average individual is wound like a baseball, Ritchie is wound like a ball of yarn. He's just a little looser and different than most people.
We had a fascinating half hour with him yesterday. Among other things he's interested in, he said medieval literature. You don't want to respond to it?
No, I have no Gregorian chant to respond to.
Here's Hollis with the play fake. Dudley with the block. Hollis with the fumble. Loose ball at the 16. And the Cardinals have it.
John Gruden's nightmare in that situation is doing something to the other team a big play. You'd rather go 3 and punt. What was the dumb case in this scenario? Put it away. You do not run in the open field in the NFL with a ball out like that, and Hollis pays for his NFL inexperience. One more time, the thing's out there like a loaf. You've got McKinnon on one side, and you've got Jameer Miller coming from the other side, making up for that bad hold. He causes a turnover.
Wadsworth recovered. 2nd Oakland turnover. 1st and 10. Arizona at the 16. Backs in the eye. Play fake. Plummer has it. Has a man wide open. All alone in the end zone, and it's intercepted. Oh, man!
That is a 50-50 interception. You got to give 50% of the blame to Jake Plummer for underthrowing his receiver, who is wide open. But watch Darrell Russell coming over the right guard, getting in Jake Plummer's face. Jake has to throw it. He's not ready. Eric Allen makes the interception. Oh, this is just getting the momentum, getting your little red wagon moving and rolling downhill, and then throwing it into a puddle of mud. That is wasting a great opportunity for Vince Tobin's football team.
That is the 40th career interception for Eric Allen. First with the Raiders. And the handoff out to the 25. Napoleon Kaufman with the carry.
And my guess is you're going to see a whole lot of Raiders running with both hands on the football after what Hollis did.
Jake Plummer, 3 interceptions today, and Larry Centers was all by himself.
And, you know, these are the kind of days you get out of a young quarterback. You see the great plays a young guy like this can make, and the ones that he also makes that can kill you, really kill you.
Here's Kaufman down at the 28-yard line.
Well, a nice play there by Andre Wadsworth. Napoleon Kaufman is hurt. He's down, grabbing that left leg.
And Kaufman gets assistance in leaving the field.
That left side, Eric Swan and Andre Wadsworth do a great job of being ready for Napoleon Kaufman. As he cuts back, they're there waiting for him. He got his legs bent back there. Andre Wadsworth had the bottom part of him, and when he was hit from the top side, everything twisted around.
Harvey Williams comes on in Kaufman's place. 3rd and 2, Oakland. Brown in motion. Hollis pressured. Pulls out, pulls up. Ball is held out there again, and I don't think he got the first down. Simeon Rice.
Any mistake that Donald Hollis is making in this football game is not a bad mental mistake. It is all mistakes of effort. And you look at him right here. I mean, this guy is doing everything he can, because he should be sacked there by Simeon Rice, but he gets a little support from his guys. He's got the ball out, then he puts it away very, very smartly. He's fighting, he's working. I mean, this is exactly what John Gruden wants out of his backup quarterback.
Aragoose on to punt, however, on 4th and 1. Metcalf at the 17. At the 35, out to the 41-yard line. A 54-yard punt, 24 on the return for Metcalf. Kenny Shedd downfield to make the tackle. Get ready for a new season. Plummer also has 2 touchdown passes.
Forgettable.
Quick setup, right side for Sanders. Caught! Oh, nifty over Eric Allen. Frank Sanders. Gain of 24.
Some young quarterbacks go into a shell when bad things happen. Jake Plummer, still working, does not go into a shell. He comes out firing. He comes out mad. What a nice job of floating that right over the top of Eric Allen's head for that reception.
Last week in St. Louis with 9 catches, has now caught 6 today. Morrell has had a tough afternoon, but he breaks it on this run inside the 30 to the 9-yard line. And let's get an update on Napoleon Kaufman. Here's Michelle.
All right, well, Napoleon Kaufman is out of this game. He has sprained his left ankle. Training staff had him simply surrounded. He was in a great deal of pain. Got up, tried to put weight on it and walk on it. Took about 4 steps and had to sit down. He is out.
Well, 2nd down and 3. 3 wide receiver set now for the Cardinals. Hand it to Larry Centers. Little mix-up with Plummer, and Centers gets the first down at the 25. Looked like they bumped into each other.
Richard Harvey is in the backfield. That's why the hesitation happened. I mean, Jake Plummer turns around to hand off the ball, and Harvey's in his backfield but doesn't make the tackle, and Centers gets the first down.
Now Metcalf and Gedney come out. Adrian Morrell back in.
That's a case of attacking but not closing the deal.
I formation on 1st and 10. They slip the ball to Larry Centers. He gets 2 at right guard and is knocked down at the 24-yard line.
He did better when they didn't block anybody.
That's right. Larry Centers at fullback. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with our score. The Oakland Raiders 23 and the Arizona Cardinals 14. We'll return to Sun Devil Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station. Cardinals a 2nd and 9. In the heat of an Arizona desert, here is Jake Plummer back to throw. Goes across the middle, too high. He had Sanders open at the 15-yard line.
Well, the Arizona Cardinals cannot complain about lack of opportunities. I mean, this is their 12th possession of the game. And And in this one right here, you've got Sanders just working on a short little crossing pattern. This is a no-brainer. But Jake Plummer does not get him the ball.
And that brings up a 3rd and 8.
They've crossed 56 times in the Raider territory. They've only got 14 points to show for it.
Here's Plummer. Drills it. Almost picked off for the 4th time. Intended for Sanders, and Eric Turner, who has intercepted passes in each of the last 3 games, almost made it a quartet.
Remember, we've talked about anticipation and reading. Turner's on the right side of your screen deep. He is staring at Jake Plummer. Just like you've seen the corners, Allen and Woodson anticipate, read Jake Plummer's eyes. Jake Plummer is having his eyes read and his body massaged there by Darrell Russell.
Now Joe Nedney, 4 of 6 on field goals this season. This from 41 yards away. Got it. Vince Tobin likes it. They got something out of this to open the 4th quarter. 23-17. 23-17.
Guy looking for spare change. I tell that guy, not many people get up. Either that or he dropped his car keys.
I think that
would be a bad place to lose your car keys down a rattlesnake hole.
Could be javelinas coming at you from up there. Here's Nedney's kick, taken on the far side by Howard, and he gets back to the 20. Zach Waltz, number 52. Nice special teams tackle. Well, the NASDAQ College football coming up this weekend on CBS. Regional coverage. Some of you will see Tennessee against Georgia. Others will see Florida State against Miami. Saturday, coverage begins 3 o'clock Eastern time on CBS. Now Donald Hollis and the Raiders up by 6. Jeff George out with a pulled groin. Napoleon Kaufman out with an injured ankle. And here's Hollis back to throw. Flag after the completion. This one's coming back.
That's a hold on Pat Harlow big time, because Simeon Rice had him cleanly beaten. I mean, that's absolutely simple. That's called saving your quarterback from a backside hit.
Holding, 77, offense, still 1st down.
That would be Pat Harlow.
Yeah, he's doing his best. Here comes Pat Harlow on the top side up here. Watch him in the matchup with Simeon Rice. Come dance with me, Simeon. You aren't going by me and you aren't hitting my guy. Good spin move, though. I like that.
6th penalty on the Raiders today. 1st and 20. 4-man rush. Here's Hollis across the middle, complete. Tim Brown back to the 19-yard line, so that'll bring up a 2nd down and 11.
You know, Tim Brown, everybody makes the comments about Tim Brown that he catches these short passes, and they spend so much time crossing. But, you know, you got to get the ball to Tim Brown in whatever way you can. He is so great in air, so great in space. I mean, people found out the hard way with his punt returns a long time ago, and ever since then, they've tried to just get him the ball any situation they can.
Mickens in motion. They slip the ball to Williams on 2nd and 11 out to the 24-yard line. And Tony McCombs, number 50, makes the tackle for the Cardinals. It'll bring up a 3rd down. 13:28 to go. Oakland, first time they played here in the regular season. Only the 4th time these two franchises have gotten together. Raiders lead it 2-1. 3rd and 6.
The big nickel is in. They've got 6 defensive backs. It's going to be a zone, it looks like. No blitz.
Now they arc their zone blitz. And here's Hollis. Goes left, pulls up, got him. Andre Wadsworth. Speaking of the trade for Ryan Leaf.
And what a nice job by Vince Tobin's defense. They show a very basic look to Hollis. What does Hollis get? He gets Andre Wadsworth, number 90, fighting and fighting. He's on the ground. He gets up off the ground against Lincoln Kennedy, and he has that much time because that zone defense behind that blitz had everybody blanketed.
Aragoose to punt. Metcalf at the 34-yard line. Comes back to the right, slips, and is down at the 39. 12 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in regulation play. Cardinals trail by 6.
Made one of the best trades in franchise history. Arizona had the #2 pick overall, but traded down one spot with San Diego, who wanted Ryan Leaf. In exchange, the Cardinals got Andre Wadsworth with the #3 pick. That was the guy they wanted all along. They also got Eric Metcalf, Patrick Sapp, and safety Corey Chavis with the #33 pick overall, guys.
All right, Michelle, here's the handoff to Adrian Morrell. Talked to Bob Ferguson before the game just about the state of the franchise. He's the general manager here at Arizona. He said, we're getting close. We're about an inch short.
Well, and actually, that graphic you saw about that trade, the one part of it I really liked was they not only got down one spot, got Andre Wadsworth, got those players, they also get this thing right here. The Chargers' #1 pick next year. That is going to be huge.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the 40. Here's Plummer. Goes deep, has Sanders up. Turner with the tackle, but it's a 1st down at the 42. That's been there for much of the day.
And Jake Plummer has seen so much man coverage today. But is this man coverage? Absolutely not. Sanders able to run through that zone. You're right in the crease in the zone. You saw Turner earlier stare at Jake Plummer, get the great jump on the ball. Couldn't get the jump there. That's a good completion and a good crisp play from the Cardinals.
One setback. Metcalf in the lineup. He's in the slot. On 1st down, they hand it to Larry Centers, and he gets 1 to the 42-yard line. Frank Sanders, another big day. He's got 7 catches now for 80 yards.
And what the Cardinal running backs are getting an awful lot of up front is Darrell Russell on the inside of that Raiders defensive line. They need to take a page out of the Raiders book and go outside, because inside is where Russell's living. And Russell is dominating inside. And if things all go the way the Raiders want it, this guy will dominate inside for a long time.
2nd down, 9, I formation. Here's Plummer, quick set, comes into the left flat, and the catch is made at the 36-yard line by Rob Moore. And ruled out of bounds. Rob Moore had an interesting take yesterday on the fact that they're now playing their 2nd home game. He said, I don't understand why the league doesn't give us home field advantage. He said, Buffalo and Green Bay play when it's 20 below in December. We ought to play here in September when it's 110.
They get in line. Jacksonville, Tampa, and Miami left to know the exact same thing.
3rd and 3. Plummer looks left all along. Sanders. Battling Eric Allen, and Frank Sanders wins the fight.
Jake Plummer's just saying, hey, look, stare at me all you want. Don't play my receivers, play the quarterback. I'm going to put it up and let my guy go get it. And boy, does Sanders go get it. 2 good guesses and executions in a row by the Cardinals. First on a zone play with Sanders, and on that play on man-on-man coverage.
Sanders and Rob Moore both to the right side, and McWilliams sets up to the left. Backs in the eye on 1st down from the 19. They hand it off to Morrell. Works his way back to his right. And knifes inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Greg Biekert, number 54, and Morrell, who's a mild-mannered sort most of the time, gets a little angry.
Well, Lance Johnstone took a little bit of a shot at him somehow right there in that confrontation, and that's a little bit of the old Raiders creeping out. That's the old Raiders. Don't revert back to that if you're the Oakland Raiders right now of John Gruden. You don't want to do that. That would qualify as a dumb mistake.
2nd down and 4. Morrell to the 11-yard line. Tomorrow at CBS, catch the hot new night lineup, starting with Cosby, then the new hit comedy critics and audiences are raving about, The King of Queens, with Kevin James and Jerry Stiller. Then it's Monday night's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond, followed by the Brian Benven Show, and then the new hit drama, L.A. Doctors. All of that tomorrow here on CBS. Morrell comes out on 3rd and 3 at the 11. Centers is in the backfield behind Plummer.
The Cardinals' 7th trip into Raiders territory.
Jake Plummer drops back, has a man with a crossing pattern, and Allen knocks it away. Rob Moore was there.
Wow, that was close. These defensive backs are really starting to hone in on Jake Plummer. He had a couple of good guesses, a couple of good plays in a row. Now Eric Allen coming from that deep middle position he was at in that defense. Look at that right there. He was 10 yards away from the crossing Rob Moore when he broke on that pass, anticipating it out of Plummer's hand.
Joe Nedney is 1 of 1. This would be from 29 yards to cut the lead in half. With 8:20 to go, Scott Player holds it. Nedney hammers it home. Yet again, the Arizona Cardinals find themselves inside the 30-yard line. They have to settle for 3, but they only trail by 3. The ball from Joe Nedney. That last Cardinal drive of 50 yards, 9 plays. They settle for a Nedney field goal. Desmond Howard will grab this at the 5. Out to the 20, down at the 22-yard line, and Donald Hollis and the Oakland Raider offense back in the field. Mario Bates makes the tackle for the Cardinals. Coming up next Sunday, a doubleheader for you on CBS. Big lineup in the first game. Most of you will see Kansas City going into New England. New England outlasted New Orleans today. And then in game 2, most of you will see the Broncos at Seattle, an AFC Western showdown. Randy and I will be in Seattle for that one.
Got a few yards and years of experience in that late game between Elway and Moon.
First down, Donald Hollis, and motion. Cardinals are claiming that Barlow moved. A matter of some interest for Gruden and Tobin.
Encroachment, 91, defense, still first down.
Rashad Swinger.
Well, as fast as the Raiders looked and as well as they looked in that first half, second half halting, I think just plain old bad has been what you've seen.
Back split. Williams on the play. The injured Napoleon Kaufman. Hollis has it. He will throw on first down. Harvey Williams is caught and dropped by Simeon Rice. Pretty good movement for the big defensive end to get out on Harvey Williams.
Well, you remember this guy is basically a linebacker. You tend to forget about, defensive ends that are this size. Between Andre Wadsworth and Simeon Rice, they should be able to run out in the flat with a running back like that. I mean, and nowadays it sounds so funny to say 260 pounds is a mobile, quick kind of linebacker.
Second down and 3, a 3-point Raider lead. Backs in the eye. Hollis hands it off. They'll sweep to the right. And that should be enough to move the chains and buy some time for the Oakland Raiders. The clock at 7:20 running down.
I don't know, Vern. From my angle, I don't think this is going to be a first down. I think John Gruden's offense is going to be just a little bit short.
Well, you're farther down there than I am. Gruden. No, you're right. Not even a measurement.
Yeah, this is about a half a yard short. Got an awful good looking hole right there in the middle of the field for a quarterback sneak.
And the Cardinals call timeout.
Oh, that was going to be a gimme, just a layup. First down. All Hollis had to do was goose his center, Barrett Robbins, take the ball and run about 2 or 3 feet up the field and fall down.
What's up, guys? What's up, easy guys?
Now it's second down and 10 at the 32.
The Raiders showed they are willing to go down the field.
Here's Hollis under pressure, gets it to Williams. Williams breaks loose. Williams to the 43 line. Lassiter and J.B. Brown. Again, timeout was called by the Cardinals. The down sign said third down. The chains were 3rd and 1. And during the timeout, the chains were moved to make it 1st and 10. It's a little confusing. And now the Raiders get a first down on the pass play to Harvey Williams, and they have a first down at the 43.
I mean, it was 3rd and short. Jameer Miller called the timeout, and there's been no explanation.
Nope. 1st and 10, Oakland. That's a tackle behind the line at the 39-yard line. Eric Swan.
Yeah, this defensive line for Arizona is young. It's aggressive. Eric Swan's not real experienced in the NFL. He's been around for a little while. But what he's doing right now is taking Graham 74 and putting him into the backfield. You've seen the good, young, aggressive defensive end. You've seen Eric Swan make plays like this and make other plays down the field. A lot of the credit for how this young defensive line plays got to go to their coach, Joe Green.
2nd down, 13. Cardinals show blitz. Hollis, nope, they back off. Hollis pumps once, takes another shot down the right side. Incomplete. J.B. Brown covering James Jett. It'll be 3rd and 13.
Well, it took them more than 3 quarters to do it, but they finally did go after J.B. Brown, but it seems like a too little, too late. J.B. Brown is still that far off the receiver there. He's just not going to give James Jett that much of a pad and that much of a chance to just run by him. As far as that big, deep play to Jett, I think they missed their shot.
John Ritchie, a late addition to the offensive set.
Way too many guys on the field. The Raiders better call timeout.
Ricky Dudley was not off the field, and Hollis had to call time. On 3rd and 13 from the 40. 4:57 to go in regulation. Oakland up by 3. Sun Devil Stadium, and just to clarify, during the last timeout, not this one, but the time before, during the time we were away, the Raiders asked for a measurement. It was given, and this then determined that they did have a 1st and 10. That was when Jameer Miller had called a Cardinal timeout. Now, Jameer Miller and the Cardinals defense looks at an Oakland team that has a 3rd and 13 from the 40-yard line.
This one right here is all about those young defensive ends and the pressure you put on Hollis.
Blitz. Deep across the middle. Caught! What a huge catch. Ricky Dudley, the tight end. A gain of 18, and they needed 13.
Well, big Ricky Dudley didn't look very pretty on the reverse, but he looks pretty good. We're catching this pass from Hollis coming from that left tight end position. Nice job up front by the line, and Richie picking up the blitz. And just a nice high grab by Ricky Dudley right there. And you know, Hollis has got to celebrate these kind of successes. And he really has to be happy right now with the performance that he's putting on the field for John Gruden.
4:15 remaining in regulation. Raiders up by 3. They hand it off to Williams inside the 40, down at the 38-yard line. The tackle made by Mark Smith.
Well, this is that juggler time of the game when the Raiders have to say to the other team, we are going to make you feel our weight. We are going to pound on you with this much time left and just take as much of the time off the clock. Just run, 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 and make Arizona burn up timeouts.
Time called now with 4:04 remaining in the game. MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 providing a bird's eye view of today's NFL action featuring the Raiders and the Cardinals. Combined, Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 travel over 120,000 miles per year. With the disguise the Snoopy and the MetLife Blimp. Cardinals have 1 timeout remaining. Raiders have 2. And a 2nd down at the 39-yard line. Oakland up 23-20.
4:04 left. This is the epitome of your 4-minute offense.
Toss sweep right side. Williams jammed up at the 37-yard line. Jameer Miller, Pat Tillman for the Cardinals. And that'll be a 3rd down. Biggest play in the drive, an 18-yard gain on 3rd and 13.
It really is a huge catch by Ricky Dudley, because Jameer Miller and his Cardinals defense have really not played a bad game today. He in particular, Jameer Miller, has played a solid game for a guy playing with basically one arm. But what they have not done as a defense is consistently make the big plays that have been the difference for the Raiders defense.
3rd and 5. Hollis across the middle again. That will be very close for the first down yardage. He got it at the 1. That's another 1st and 10, Oakland.
And in this situation, you're looking at the clock now going to about 3:10 for John Gruden's offense. They've practiced this. You know, John Gruden, with his attention to detail, has practiced every single little thing. And when guys come into the huddle now for his offense, all they have to say is, guys, 4 minutes. 4-minute offense. How many timeouts do we have? How many first downs do we need to just make this clock get away and get us some points?
This, the 11th play of the drive, and they've chewed up 5:16 already. The clock shows 2:39. A handoff right side to Harvey Williams. Inside the 30, down at the 27, Jameer Miller, Andre Wadsworth. And timeout, Arizona. That is their last timeout. Why is Mike Wallace so interested? Don't forget, 60 Minutes coming up next, except on the West Coast. 2nd down and 6, Oakland. Tim Brown in motion. 2:33 on the clock. And they'll come right again. Harvey Williams manages to stay in bounds.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Harvey Williams' legs. You saw him just go to the ground right there in that situation. If he'd have cut back, he had a gigantic hole. And when he made the decision to go inside, he had that veteran knowledge and savvy just to go down when he saw that perimeter coming, because the Cardinals would have loved to push him out of bounds and stop this clock.
We have reached the 2-minute warning. It will be 3rd and 4, Oakland. What a job done in chewing time off the clock with a 3-point lead. Edney's field goal cut the margin to 3, and what a job of time consuming that the Raiders have done.
They get the ball with 8:16. They've run it all the way down to here. I'm very impressed with what John Gruden has done. You know, he's got this football team. This is not a great Raider football team. He's got them in touch with the fact that they're an average football team that aspires to be good. And they're playing now and today very, very smart, like they want to be good.
Look at a 3rd and 4 now. Donald Hollis in relief of Jeff George. Hollis looking left, got him, fumble. Scramble, still loose. And recovered by Arizona.
J.B. Brown. J.B. Brown gets that fumble. A smart move by the veteran defensive back, getting down on the ball. Because watch Andre Wadsworth. He's a coiled spring out on the outside. He is never touched, never breathed on. Lincoln Kennedy blocks down. Wadsworth is more than happy to just splatter Hollis. And then the scramble starts, and smartly J.B. Brown gets down on it and doesn't try to pick it up.
3rd Oakland turnover. They do not have timeouts remaining, and Oakland spends one of its. Raiders call time. They've got one left. Game up on 500. Jake Plummer has thrown for 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, one of which was returned by Charles Woodson, 46 yards, for the difference in the game. Here's Plummer back. Down the middle, Sanders right through his hands.
Oh, Albert Lewis, I don't know if he tips this ball, but his arms are enough of a distraction to Sanders. Sanders coming over the left side of the screen, over the middle of the field. Albert Lewis just gets his hand in there and just gets the ball in front. Does he get it? Yes, he does. What a nice play by the veteran cornerback Lewis.
In his 16th year, now a safety. Back split on 2nd and 10. Plummer cuts back to the right, looks for time, fires it, dropped by Centers. What a job by Plummer.
Yeah, catch it or drop it really didn't make much matter. The highlight of that play was Jake Plummer getting away from this pressure. Pat Swilling, the veteran defensive end, gets pushed down inside. Swilling gets another shot at him. John Stone gets a shot at him. Darrell Russell's trying to get a shot at him. This is the kind of excitement and the playmaking ability that has Vince Tobin in this franchise so excited about Jake Plummer.
3rd and 10. 1 for 10 on 3rd down conversions. They missed their last 9. And now on 3rd down they miss another. They'll have 4th and 3.
They're going to have a chance at a 4th down conversion, but you know, in this situation, 1 minute and 20-something odd seconds left. You have to have the poise and calm. Plummer's done this a lot at Arizona State. Can he do it as a Cardinal?
4th down. 4-man rush by Oakland. Plummer has a man across the middle. 1st down at the 50 and inside the 50 for Frank Sanders.
The majority of this crowd has not left this game for one reason and one reason alone. Number 16, Jake the Snake Plummer, made a living of this at Arizona State.
Quicksand, pump fake, sideline pass to Rob Moore, but he does not get out of bounds.
Hurry, he's going to spike it. He's got no timeouts. He needs to get under the center, get the ball, throw it in the ground.
Clock shows 38 seconds remaining. Nope. Going to try one more. Dances right, throws it deep into double coverage and throws it away. And the clock reads 27 seconds. 27 seconds left. Back split. Plummer, left side. They get out of bounds, but they do not get the 1st down. Larry Centers makes the grab. 21 seconds to go and another 4th down.
You know, some players really live on the edge. Jake Plummer is one of those guys that thrives on the edge, and he's getting a chance right here because this far out is way too far out to be going for that field goal in this situation. They need a 1st down. Be aware of where this ball is caught and how quickly you can get out of bounds. You're tackled inbounds and you get the 1st, you got trouble still.
They need 3. Here's Plummer back. He will run. He's got the 1st down, but they're going to have to regroup and spike it. There are 12 seconds left. They can't stop the clock. 7 seconds. The spike. But this would still be a 56-yard field goal or 55, depending on the spot. The career.
Keep in mind the middle of the Raiders rush. That's where you're going to see the guy Russell Maryland and Darrell Russell, because this ball is going to have to come out extremely low. If he doesn't drill it low, it won't have a shot.
Last week for the Rams, Jeff Wilkins kicked one against Arizona of 57 yards. This one 56. And Oakland has called timeout. One of those misses, 52 yards earlier this year for Joe Nedney.
Most kickers in this league have the leg to kick a ball this distance. The problem is always the trajectory with which the ball has to leave the first 4 or 5 yards. For the long distance kick has got to be low. That means you've got to prevent penetration up front by the offensive line and find a way to keep people's hands down.
Trey Junkin will snap it back. The punter, Scott Player. Nedney leaves. What do you think?
I like the choice. A lot better chance of something happening in the end zone on a pass.
Right side. Catch is made. Inbounds. No time left.
Why you don't throw the ball down the field? You cannot execute a play fast enough to get the ball down the field. The Cardinals are standing up.
5 seconds remaining. They throw the out. The pass complete, but the clock expires.
I talked about it earlier. The play has to be absolutely perfectly executed to be done in the right time. The clock starts at the snap of the ball. The clock's ticking. There's a slight hesitation. The ball goes out, and the clock is run out.